morning, everyone, and welcome to the church in Ocean Park. Glad to see you on this Earth Day Sunday. And of course, as has happened in the past, oh, I forget how many years this got to be the third or fourth year. We're lucky to have Magpie with us for Earth Day Sunday. So, welcome everybody. I'm going to get us started off with a song uh, that's actually written. The lyrics were written by some friends of ours, Adam Otzel, Court Dorsey, Charlie King, and Marcia Taylor. And collectively, they're called Bright Morning Star when they were all singing together. So, yes, so be on mute. You will recognize the melody of the song, and I love to get to sing this song. I think I've got the words in the chat. So, solar power, inexpensive energy, solar power, inexpensive energy. See the sun, how bright it shines on the nations of the earth. All who share this thing called life celebrate each day's rebirth. Solar power, inexpensive energy, solar power, inexpensive energy. Brother River, can you hear how the valleys call you down? Send your rushing waters near, make the joyful hills resound. Solar power, inexpensive energy, solar power, inexpensive energy. Sister River. I think their words are different than the ones I usually use. That's funny. Sister, when we've heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the windmills in reply echo back their glad refrain. Solar power, inexpensive energy, solar power, inexpensive energy. So take a stretch, everybody. And and this time add all these amazing harmonies, and we will look forward to hearing your harmonies when we're all back together, when the ceiling is fixed and the roof is fixed and all of that. Oh, how we love complexity when the answer's rather plain. Join the sun in jubilee. Sing with us this loud refrain. Solar power, inexpensive energy, solar power, inexpensive energy. I love that, Jerry Rubin. That's looking good. Solar power, inexpensive energy, solar power, inexpensive energy. Happy Earth Day Sunday. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park.
Hello, Magpie.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Bob Gourd, and I'm a member of the Church in Ocean Park, and I'm here to welcome you to this unique interfaith community that is dedicated to social justice. Well, you may be wondering if you're welcome here. We are interfaith, so you are welcome if you're Jewish, if you're Muslim, Ifa, spiritualist, Ifa, spiritualist, Wiccan, Buddhist, Christian, atheist, secular humanist, or some combination or something else altogether. We extend a special invitation to those who are single, married, divorced, gender nonconformist, filthy rich, or living on the edge. We extend a special invitation to those who are crying newborns, just browsing, or just woke up. We welcome those who have spent portions of their lives being incarcerated. And we also welcome those who have never been incarcerated. We don't care if you're more religious than the Pope or haven't been in church since your nephew's baptism. We extend a special invitation to those who are over 60, but not grown up yet. Raise your hand. I won't ask for hands, but I do have to confess to being in that category myself. And to teenagers who are eager to grow up. We invite yoga practitioners, line dancers, nature lovers, latte or green tea sippers, vegetarians, and junk food eaters. We invite those who are in recovery and those dependent on substances to get through the day. We invite you if you're having problems down in the dumps or anxious to share your wisdom with others. We welcome those who like organized religion and those who don't. We offer a special invitation to those who work too hard, can't spell, or landed here because they are bored with staying home all day and heard that this is a strange church. We invite those who are inked, pierced, or both. We offer a special invitation to those who could use a prayer or lifting up right now, or had religion shoved down their throats as kids. We invite tourists, seekers, and doubters, and you. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park.
Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome to our celebration of Earth Day service today. Okay, I'm Joseph Hepburn.
Hi, Joseph.
I'm one of the members of the church in Ocean Park, and I'm carrying on in place of Reverend Janet McKeithen, who is presently on sabbatical. So I welcome you to our service for the celebration of Earth Day today. We had a good weekend with respect to Earth Day. Yesterday, Bonnie Johnston and myself attended the Tree of Gratitude event for Jerry Rubin and his wife, Marisa. And that was a great experience as well. And then after that, I joined with Joanne to attend Reverend Mark's farewell program. So that was a great program because while we had a lot of speeches at Jerry Rubin's event, we had dance at Reverend Mark's program. So earth dances, really creative dance. And so today we are going to have music. So that completes the whole circle. So we welcome you today to our service, and we hope that as we continue, you would certainly enjoy what we have to share with you today. Before we continue, I need to mention this land acknowledgement that we, the people of the church in Ocean Park, recognize that our building in Santa Monica, California, sits on stolen land. We, the settlers of this land, honor the Quiche, the Tongva, and the Chumash peoples. We acknowledge the harms of genocide, enslavement, gender violence, and destruction of sacred sites, the burial of historic truths, and indigenous sufferings at the hands of US colonial secularism. We also acknowledge that our communities and country were built on the backs of people stolen from Africa, placed into bondage, and forced into labor. We acknowledge that we benefit from that labor that has never been repaid. In acknowledgement, let us commit ourselves to healing by helping to create a more just and equitable world through the struggle of changing how we do things that we see as normal, how we change the systems that oppress people. And so we apologize for the harm by pledging ourselves to be part of the culture of repair. So enjoy, welcome, the church in Ocean Park.
Thank you, Chaplain Joseph. Good morning to you, and good morning to everybody. Hi, my name is Louise. I'm the Minister of Music at the Church in Ocean Park, and I want to become more present, center myself, and I invite you to join me. I'm going to sing a Thich Nhat Hanh chant that says, I have arrived, I am home in the here and in the now. Now let's do it 3 times. I have arrived, I am home in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home in the here and in the now.
Thank you, Louise. Thank you. And I'm Dr. Kim. I'm a proud member of the church in Ocean Park. And I have a reading for us today here on Earth Sunday. And I put the link into the chat. This comes from a letter, an encyclical letter from Pope Francis. And I'm just going to read 2 paragraphs of his letter called Laudato Si. And it is about care for our common home. And it's paragraph 13 and 14, where Pope Francis gives an urgent appeal. He says, the urgent challenge to protect our common home includes a concern to bring the whole human family together to seek a sustainable and integral development. For we know that things can change. The Creator does not abandon us and never forsakes God's loving plan or repents of having created us. Humanity still has the ability to work together in building our common home. Here I want to recognize, encourage, and thank all of those striving in countless ways to guarantee the protection of the home which we share. Particular appreciation is owed to those who tirelessly seek to resolve the tragic effects of environmental degradation on the lives of the world's most poor. Young people demand change. They wonder how anyone can claim to be building a better future without thinking of the environmental crisis and the sufferings of the excluded. I urgently appeal then for a new dialogue about how we are shaping the future of our planet. We need a conversation that includes everyone, since the environmental challenge we are undergoing and its human roots concern and affect us all. The worldwide ecological movement has already made considerable progress and led to the establishment of numerous organizations committed to raising awareness of these challenges. Regrettably, many efforts to seek concrete solutions to the environmental crisis have proved ineffective, not only because of the powerful opposition, but also because of a more general lack of interest. Obstructionist values, even on the part of believers, can range from denial of the problem to indifference, nonchalant resignation, or blind confidence in technical solutions. We require a new and universal solidarity. As the bishops of South Africa have stated, everyone's talents and involvement are needed to redress the damage caused by human abuse of God's creation. All of us can cooperate as instruments of God for the care of creation, each according to his or her own experience, involvements, and talents. So that was paragraph 13 and 14 from Pope Francis' encyclical letter called Laudato Si, Care for Our Common Home.
But now I invite you to sing this with me at home. The lyrics are in the chat. The earth is our mother, we must take care of her. The earth is our mother, we must take care of her. Hey yana ho yana, hey yan yan. Hey yana ho yana, hey yan yan. Her sacred breast we walk upon. With every step we take, her sacred breast we walk upon. With every step we take. Hey yana ho yana, hey yan yan. Hey yana ho yana, hey yan yan. I am the forest and I am the tree. I don't have a voice. Will you speak for me? Hey yana ho yana, hey yan yan. Hey yana ho yana, hey yan yan. I am the river and I am the sea. I don't have a voice. You must speak for me. Hey yana ho yana, hey yan yan. Hey yana ho yana, hey yan yan. The earth is our mother, she will take care of us. The earth is our mother, she will take care of us. Yes, hey yana ho yana, hey yan yan. Hey yana ho yana, hey yan yan. Hey yana ho yana, hey yan yan. Hey yana ho yana, hey yan yan.
it is now my honor and privilege and joy. I'm just so happy to introduce my dear friends, Terry Leonino and Greg Artsner, the duo known as Magpie. Now, since 1973, Terry and Greg have brought their unique sound and remarkable versatility to audiences everywhere, featuring traditional and vintage Americana to contemporary and stirring original compositions. And they're really great singing Phil Oakes songs as well. Just saying. With two strong voices and harmony and superb instrumental arrangements, their sound is powerful and moving. They are award-winning recording artists, singers, songwriters, musical historians, playwrights, actors, social activists, teachers, and they'll tell us a little bit more about that too. Terry and Greg are proud to be, as Pete Seeger said of them, more links in the chain. They dedicate their lives and music to leaving this world a better place. And this is either the third or the fourth time we have had Terry and Greg with us for our Earth Day Sunday. So we are so thrilled. So thanks, Terry and Greg. Take it away.
Well, we are definitely honored to be here, Kim, and it's always so wonderful to be with you again.
Yes.
We were singing along on Solar Power and made us remember all those great times we did that together. And of course, the sun is so important, but I understand you guys have been working a lot with tree planting, so we thought we would start with the tree song.
Here's the tree song.
That
There are lots of tree songs.
many.
If we find that a lot of our songs about the earth are either about trees or about water, or both.
Or both. But anyway, we thought we would share this one. We didn't write this one. It was written by a man named, get this, Hugh Prestwood.
Yeah, you know Hugh Prestwood.
His real name is Prestwood.
He's probably the most famous country singer that nobody knows anything about.
But anyway, it's about a very
He's
special...
actually in the National Country Music Hall of Fame.
It's a very special song about a very special tree called the bristlecone pine. Do you know it? You can sing along. You can put those lyrics in the chat, maybe?
I could do that, couldn't I?
I don't know
That
how
would
to
be
do it.
fantastic.
Oh, I can do it. No,
Oh,
it's
good.
very easily done. All I have
right,
to
then.
do is copy,
All right.
go to the chat,
Okay.
then to everyone, paste. Boom, there they are.
Okay, then.
All the words to this song are in the chat now.
And we
We'll do
did...
the same thing with the next song.
No, we haven't sung this song for a while, but I just
Oh,
love
yeah.
it.
We haven't done it.
They're not in the chat, actually, quite yet.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I didn't send them yet. Okay, here we go. Boom. Yep, now they are.
Are they there now?
They should be.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
No, we haven't done this song for a long
A
time.
long time. Almost as long as the tree's been alive.
But
But of course, this is in honor of the tree planting yesterday by Jerry Rubin, and in honor of his beautiful, wonderful wife. We miss her, Marissa.
Planting a tree is one of the most beautiful, forward-looking, hopeful acts that a human being could possibly engage in. Because, of course, you plant that little tree, and you will not live to see it be all that it can be. It's going to be a gift to your grandchildren, to your great-grandchildren, to your great-great-grandchildren. So to us,
everybody that
trees
walks
are
by.
everybody. So trees are so important to us.
Way up in the mountain, on the high timber line, lives a twisted old tree called the bristlecone pine. The wind there is bitter, it cuts like a
So when I'm laid to rest, it would suit me just fine
to sleep at the feet of a bristlecone pine. And as I would slowly return to the earth, what little this body of mine might be worth would soon start to nourish the roots of that tree. And it would partake of the essence of me. And who knows but that as the centuries turn, a small spark of me might continue to burn. As long as the sun did continue to shine down on the limbs of the bristlecone pine.
Now the way I have lived, there ain't no way to tell when I die if I'm going to heaven or hell. So when I'm laid to rest, it would suit me just fine
To sleep at the feet of a bristlecone pine.
Not the way I have lived, there ain't no way to tell if I die if I'm going to heaven or hell. So I just as soon serve out eternity's time.
Sleep at the feet of a bristlecone pine. Sleep at the feet of a bristlecone pine.
All
Thank
right.
you. It's been a while since we did that one, but it was such a beautiful song.
One of the many tree songs. Well, now we're going to do one that we wrote ourselves.
About water.
About water. This song came out of the original fight for water protectors in the Pacific, in the Southwest of the United States. Some elders from the Diné, the Navajo, commonly known as the Navajo Nation, came to Washington D.C. To petition Congress because their water had been under assault from the uranium mining industry. And you know, when you have radioactive rock all around your water supply, disrupting that rock is a really, really bad idea. So they came to petition for life, essentially. And one of the elders leaned over to Terry and said, "You know, Terry, water is life." And
This was way back.
way before Standing Rock, 10, 12 years before Standing Rock.
You know, in the early 90s, this was happening to a lot of First Nations, like often has been done in the past, unfortunately. And they were really concerned about it to the point where, you know, they had to do something. And so they came to to our friend who's a lawyer, was representing them in D.C. And it was a real pleasure to meet them and to hear their story. And you can sing along. This
Very easy song to sing. The chorus is Mother Ocean nourishes me at full moonlight tide at the edge of the sea. Water is life. Water is life. Water is life. There is no question about it. Water can also be hardship, and water can also be very destructive, and it can take life away.
And
But-
in their case, when they first were discovering this problem, it was fracking. Now fracking is front page news. This was not on the front page news in the 1990s. So again, these are things that happen to all of us, and we need to remember the importance of water.
Mother Ocean nourishes me at full moonlight tide at the edge of the sea. Water is life. Water is life. That's the chorus. Mother Ocean nourishes me at full moonlight tide at the edge of the sea. Water is life. Water is life. Rocky shore, something holds my eye on that perfect far distant line where water meets the sky. I don't need a mighty ship sailing across the sea 4 fathoms deep within. I know what you mean to me. Mother Ocean nourishes me. Water is life. Water is life. Mother Ocean nourishes me at the edge of the sea. Water is life. Out on the wide Pacific under the sun's relentless glow, waters rise up to the sky where western winds will blow. Those clouds enshroud my mountaintop, feed the forest with their rain. Then it runs down to the rivers and back onto you again. Mother Ocean nourishes me full moonlight tide at the edge of the sea. Water is life. Everything I need, I know it's true, it comes from you. Water is a seed, little Mother Ocean planet in a universe so wide. We've got to rise up like the moon and try to turn the tide. Mother Ocean nourishes me at full moonlight tide at the edge of the sea. Water is life. Water, oh, water is life. Mother Ocean nourishes me at the edge of the sea. Water is life. Water is life.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, listen, Terry and Greg, how now you said you've been singing, making incredible music since 1973. Did
Yeah.
your one of your foci, oh please, sorry, I used that word anyway, but it
That's
did,
good. No, I like that
That's
word.
a good word.
We
Yeah,
have
we
we
like
have we have a few focuses.
just a few.
did it start right off with care for the earth with environmental causes? Because I know you have several different interests and
Well,
ways.
we grew up in a place, industrial Ohio, where you couldn't see the sky when I was a kid. Akron was just filled with air pollution. The river caught fire when I was a kid. So we kind of lived in industrial communities, like a lot of people still do, who are affected by big corporations, steel plants and rubber plants. And, my dad built tires at Firestone Tire and Rubber Company. So we were from that industrial sector. And the environment is never something people think about in poor communities.
I think we were suffering from it. We were suffering from the environmental degradation at the time that Earth Day came around. In 1970, Terry was a freshman in college, and that was Earth Day, the very first in April of 1970. So by the time we started singing together, the environmental movement had really sort of picked up some momentum, and we always did some songs that had to do with the environment. It went back to, in fact, I remember, I think one of the very first songs that I wrote a couple of years before I met Terry in 1971 was a song called Limited Access, which was all about the highway, the automotive.
The demise of the automobile industry.
Darwinism.
Automotive Darwinism. And
But,
that was in our first LP, which is on Smithsonian Folkways.
So the environment's always been a part of it, but the reason that there are all these other various different focuses is because, labor. Terry and I both come from working class families. My family were union steel workers. Terry's family were union rubber workers. So the unions and the labor movement was always big.
And we're two card-carrying union musician people.
Yeah, we're actually members of the Industrial Workers of the World. So
as well as
we're
Musicians
Wobblies.
Union.
And then the Civil Rights Movement. And the reason the Civil Rights Movement entered into our lives, a couple of different ways. In my case, my father took up a job as a job development specialist with the Urban League in 1963. So all through the 60s, our family got involved in the local community actions that were going on. And as we were always going around with Dad and helping him to set up this and work on that.
You were the photographer.
I was the official photographer for the Urban League when I was just a kid.
11 years old.
So the Civil Rights Movement, of course, there was all that great music. I mean, incredibly inspirational. Okay, with Terry's case, Terry used to spend her summers all through her childhood going down to visit her mother's family in Arkansas, around the eastern Arkansas, Lepanto, Arkansas, and over in Mississippi near Duck Hill. Of course, Dr. King actually marched right through Duck Hill, Mississippi. He turned right when he got to Duck Hill, or it was Grenada. He turned right in Grenada. And so Terry got to see a lot of that, and she got to see the racism in the Deep South up close and personal during those years. So these are the things that affected our lives as musicians as we came up. We were always kind of still tied into those personal roots that we had.
Yeah. Now, how are you passing it on to younger generations?
Well,
much as we can.
That is one of the fun things, actually. We developed several programs for very young children because, at a very early age, that's when they are most affected by a lot of these things. And so we decided to work on a literacy program that we helped develop called Dancing with Books, which is all about using one children's book. And it's designed, we designed it so you'd have musicians, dancers, visual artists, all working together around one book. And the children, through their artwork, through the dancing of it, through the singing of it, would learn the stories. And then they all get books at the end as one of the presents. And we do several books during a residency with lots of ages. Right now we're doing one with kindergarten kids for Wolf Trap, which is another organization we work for called Wolf Trap Early Learning Through the Arts. and Greg and I are master artists with them, and I help develop part of the special needs program for that. So our educational work with kids is extremely important.
So then we go on, we do other things. I mean, we actually play for every student age group that there is. You know, we do lots of programs in elementary schools, middle schools, high schools,
songwriting program
university.
on Harriet Tubman.
And also for like people over 60 that haven't grown up yet. You work with
Absolutely. Absolutely. We love that kind of thing. You know, one of our favorite songs is, you know, and adults need to learn this. Adults very much need to learn this. We teach it to our kids every day. Are
We
you
learned
ready
it
for
from a teacher now.
No. This is a
this
whole new
is what
song.
we
Oh well. Oh, that's not a good key. Oh well.
Oh well, I guess that's how it goes. Oh well, as
Everybody knows sometimes we're disappointed when things don't go our way. That's the time to shrug your shoulders and the time to say, oh well, it's a song that never ends. Oh well. You know that. So we try to sort of subvert the dominant paradigm in our work as teaching artists. So we're trying to bring in the themes that we're most passionate about, most interested in. Yeah. So that means history. That means civil rights. That means justice, freedom, peace, and
science.
taking care of.
We're kind of
the
known
earth.
as
You know,
musical scientists and musical historians.
It's all
we did a whole play just on the life cycle of the blue crab for the Smithsonian Environmental Research Department.
Ooh.
We did a whole play.
Now, can you do another song for us? And then we may sneak another one in after community sharing. Just saying. But can you do another song for us right now before we head into community?
I call them all up. Okay, you were mentioning Pete, Pete Seeger, and Pete, of course, was a good friend of all of ours. Pete was, in fact, it was very interesting that you sang the Solar Carol today, which we, of course, have sung with you many, many times over the years, and we were, of course, enjoying singing our harmony parts over here that nobody could hear. You know, Pete sang that song and played the recorder on that song with Bright Morning Star back in what, 1980, 1970? No, I think it was like 1974.
Could be.
Somebody posted a video of it on YouTube.
Yeah, I did actually. I think.
Did you do that? Was that you?
I shared one of the members of Bright Morning Star. They had it up there, and I shared it on my Facebook page. So if you all are interested, you can see that. You'll see Pete Seeger playing the recorder with Bright Morning Star.
Oh, it's a wonderful.
It's a wonderful video.
But you know, you were saying we got involved with you and the Clearwater, and the Clearwater's been a very large part of all of our lives. And so this is a song because we're talking about love, and when they always ask Pete, so, you know, what do you call yourself, a folk musician, or what do you call your songs, or what kind of songs do you
Pete never liked the term folk music. You know, he always hated that, and it got into countless conversations about it, and finally he just gave up talking about it. But his whole thing was, they're not just folk songs. What does that mean? You know, songs that folks sing, that means that, you know, every song is a folk song. No, his whole thing was, no, they're love songs. They're all love songs. We're in C sharp or D flat. So so he said this in an interview, and we saw the interview, and the day after Pete died, we wrote this song about what he said to the reporter. This is a song based on Pete's words. I call them all love songs, 'cause that is what they are. Love though the road be smooth or rough. Love for this crazy world and all humanity. Still we know love alone is not enough. It's about the workers in solidarity, and about their singing on the line. A song about their dream to make a better world. Like a beacon through the night, we let it shine. A hope for the planet, the home that we all share, that we may strive to heal the damage we have done. wrong of war and standing to defy. It's a song about the peace that we have won. I call them all love songs, 'cause that is what they are. Love though the road be smooth or rough. Love for this crazy world and all humanity. Still we know love alone is not enough. It's the struggle of poor people just fighting to get by, and the greedy who take more than their share. It's sung for the ones who help to feed body and mind of their brothers and their sisters anywhere. It's about walking, not just talking as we go, remembering the good things that we do. A song about standing with and for each other now, for we know love is not enough to see us through. I call them all love songs, 'cause that is what they are. Love though the road be smooth or rough. Love for this crazy world and all humanity. Still we know love alone is not enough. It's about searching for the truth, and about the things that are unknown. A song about freedom and the struggle that goes on. A story of the country you call home. A song about the river flowing to the sea, from the mountains in the north forever tall. A dream of clear water and the wind that fills her sails. It's a song about us all. I call them all love songs, 'cause that is what they are. Love though the road be smooth or rough. Love for this crazy world and all humanity. Still we know love alone is not enough. We know love alone is not enough. Thanks, everybody. Oh, thank you, Jerry, for the signage. We appreciate it.
Yeah, you really put some links there today.
We appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It takes me back to my early school days when we were reading about Twelfth Night, William Shakespeare's work on Twelfth Night. And the speaker is asking for music because he is frustrated in his courtship experience. So he wants music. He said, if music be the food of love, play on.
Play on forever.
Give me excess of it. Well, we don't have any excess of it yet, so we want more. Anyhow, we're going to go into our time of sharing at this time. If you have a comment or a question, or maybe even your own remembrance of music that has helped you, has motivated you, or somebody you know, we can share that this morning. So we're going to start with Linda Bourne today. Linda.
Thank you. I shared something that I'm sure that you will agree with. I have two things I want to say, and one is something that you and Pete would agree with, that it's not human activity, that it's capitalism. Right. I know you know this. And and everybody at this church knows I'm going to say this anyway. So I just, humans lived on Earth for nearly 200 million years before capitalism started spewing carbon into the environment, and we can live that way again. And that's why I'm a communist. And because I know that we don't have to live this way. We have never, the span of human life is long, and we can have a better future, but love is not enough. We have to fight for it. And I know you know that. And for Earth Day, I feel like I really have to say that. The other thing I wanted to say is probably less expected by all of my friends here at the church in Ocean Park, and it's much more personal. And I probably can't say this easily. My husband is very ill, and one of your YouTube recording of Sacco's last letter has been of great comfort to both of us. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you.
We give thanks for the healing
We wanted
presence of music.
You're welcome, Linda.
You're more than welcome. I mean, that song means so much to so many people, and I'm very touched by what you just said. Thank you so much for your generosity and love.
Okay, thank you. Go to Craig. Craig Ali.
Yeah, as a follow-up to what Linda had said, well, let me first say before that, this is, I guess you could say, a sad state of affairs when we recognize that water is life, and then you have to have water protectors. And as a follow-up, I think, to what Linda said, I had a conversation last night with someone who was, I guess you could say, slightly anti-feminist and clearly anti-socialist. And I asked him to explain essentially, what was wrong with socialism. And, he hemmed and hawed, but he couldn't really come up with a decent thing. And I tried to explain to him, anyone pretty much who is anti-socialism is, pro-industry and pro-being rich. And, I went through a parable, and I think I've said this to Linda before too, in terms of football, who your favorite teams was. And as a result, he could begin to see, how the spreading out of money, to a community is much more beneficial than spreading out money to just one man. And so I really want to hear your songs, reminds me of just how much work that needs to be done, either in the way of music or in the way of just education, or just in the way of what we in traditional African society call the griot, which we spread, the language, the culture, and the history in an organic sense. So I really applaud you and hug you, based with your efforts, because this is a necessary thing. It's very necessary. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Craig. Anyone else with a comment or some experience to share?
Good morning. I'm so glad that you're here. I went to a memorial yesterday for the father of a best friend of my daughter. And so that was a very moving experience. He was only 68 and a fit athlete, and he dropped like a stone. So it's been a very hard couple of days for me, because, you're reminded of how life is so fragile. And then today I thought, okay, Earth Day, I can't face any words I can't just listen to words today. And here I am listening to this music, and I'm just touched to the very cellular level. And I just want to thank you. And I'm reminded how, I know how powerful music is. I love music, and I'm sort of a musician myself, but I'm just reminded how powerful it is. And thank you so much. I love your music. Thanks.
You are so kind, all of you, for those comments. But it's because we all resonate at the same place. That's what music does. It helps us resonate together. And that's one of the most important things in the world. If you go outside and you listen to it, it's resonating, it's buzzing, it's frenetic, it's alive, and especially in the spring. So we're just so grateful to be with you all and to hear these comments. Thank you.
Okay, we have another comment from Charles. Chuck?
Chuck, can you hear me?
Yes.
I have a difficult situation, which is I deal with music. I can really vouch personally for the fact that music is about love and healing. For example, I was involved in a conversation with two of my in-laws, one male who is a venture capitalist, Republican. The other is a female, is a fundamentalist Christian. And we're talking about whether or not we were Christian. And of course, the woman, my in-law, of course she is, and she doesn't believe in evolution, for example. The other one does believe in evolution, the male capitalist, and I do as well. So I have that in common with him. But then we talked about Christianity, and I said, well, I am deeply influenced by Jesus and love the stories and try to live a life that reflects his teachings. And my brother-in-law said, what does that mean? And I said, well, I believe in taking care of the poor, and I do communion, even though I don't quite understand it. And he said, why would you do communion? I said, well, it just feels right for me. And then he made a statement. He said, why should I care about the poor? And when I hear a statement like that, I realize it's almost impossible to change certain people. And if we focus on that, we're, I'd say, pretty much wasting our time. We can love them, but at the same time, we never want to give up being critical of that attitude. Why should you help the poor? And the correct answer to that is, why not? And which I said to him, why not? So anyway, I'm just so keenly aware of how difficult it is, how hard it is to love one another. And certain people, it's really hard to love. I just wanted to put that out there, a personal story about how my life goes. And when I get in that place of despair, I listen to songs, I listen to music, especially love songs. And folk music, love song, I've never heard that, but it sounds just like something Pete Seeger would say. It's love song. So anyway, love you. Okay, I'll stop.
Okay, love songs it is. Anyone else? I know even in
Jerry Rubin has his hand up.
Jerry, your hand is up. Okay, carry on, Jerry.
Okay. Well, I love music. I know a lot of musicians and admire all kinds of music, and music's the universal language, and as far as thinking about our earth and the environment and all these things, I've kind of settled on, I'm a firm believer in social programs and, but I kind of landed where I feel that whatever system it is, whether it's capitalism, socialism, communism, that somehow none of them are practiced the way they are theorized, they all, I guess, intending to do good. I kind of lean towards more of a global perspective and kind of working against greed and repression, whatever system they fall under. And so that's it's not easy, and I do wish that, like music, I know kindness is a universal language, and empathy and gratitude and all those great things, and they're hard to achieve. And I feel bad hearing about others that are going through like what I've gone through with loved ones that are sick or everything. So I send my understanding out to you that's experiencing that. So I just want to thank everybody from the church for all your empathy and support personally for me right now. Thank you. That music is wonderful.
Thank you, Louise.
Yeah, yes, Greg and Terry, I'm loving your music so much. And I love that you perform with Kim and Reggie, and I have your album, more than one. And also, I'm curious what you think about music and young people, because my feeling is, and I'm not sure, when they took music out of the schools, and now it sounds like you're working on that actively, and sometimes I get the feeling that young people don't have a feeling of how great it is to sing together in a group. And my hobby, my other, one of the things I do in life is just sing in like a folk music community, and here in LA, but it's an aging population, and I think a lot of the folk arts, like square dancing, maybe LA is different, but when I was taking square dancing, it was all older people, and young people weren't joining. And I just wonder what you think about that. And see, I've noticed in our church when we were before COVID, when young people were there, young, I mean in their 20s maybe, they didn't sing along with anything most of the time. And I'm wondering what your take on this is. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Love your music.
It depends on the circles you travel in, obviously. Has an effect in that regard that, we're lucky because we are with a lot of young people a lot. And we're seeing a real resurgence, although they're having to kind of like relearn about what community is. And community singing is something that we lost a lot during the pandemic, although it was already disappearing. So, I mean, it's been disappearing. So to be live in a room with kids and singing and getting them to sing and not be worrying about, whether they're hitting the right pitch or not, that's not what we do with the music. We get them excited to write the songs. We do a songwriting thing on Harriet Tubman that hopefully will be out very soon. It's been over 11 years of recording 17 songs written by 4th graders about the life of Harriet Tubman.
5th and 6th graders.
And they are like a little choir. And these are kids at Quaker schools at Sandy Springs in Maryland. These are kids in New York, at Auburn, at Genesee Elementary, up in Canada. So we're kind of traveling where they're actually singing.
I think in terms of the society in general, yes, we definitely have a deficit of a full appreciation for the power of community singing, of singing together among young people. On the other hand, what Terry was mentioning just a minute ago, also on the other hand, in our community of folk music, the folk circuit, the folk festivals and the folk concerts and all that all over the country, which has been one of the largest underground music movements for the last 60 years, but it got bigger and bigger and bigger over the last 50 years. but it's our grandchildren's generation now that we're concerned about. But a lot of them really are taking up the music, but it's not nearly enough. Now, the same time that that's happening, a very similar thing is happening to what happened to us in the 60s. You know, in the 1960s, popular music, everybody was just, you know, we were all, I mean, this has been going on throughout the course of recorded music. But in the 1960s, you know, there was this youthful rebellion against our parents' generation, right? That was really, really big. And a lot of the appreciation for the music, well, there was the big folk music thing going on, but at the same time, popular music drew people in, and then all these popular musicians became the celebrities of the day. Same thing's happening now. It's just that we don't listen to that music. We have no idea what's going on among the real lovers of what's popular in music right now, but we can see a few things, and a couple of things that concern me. I'm not a big fan of what's happening in popular music right. When I hear what's popular in music right now, it leaves me cold, which it's not that I hate it, it's just that it leaves me cold. If it leaves me cold, then it's not doing what music should do. Music should stimulate you emotionally somewhere along the line. It has to connect with you. It has to connect with your heart on the heart level. But what's happening is that young people have almost an impossible standard that they've set for themselves by being swallowed up in one of the most egregious cultural phenomena we've seen in generations, and that is American Idol. We've got these TV shows where you got to get up there and wow Simon Cowell, or else you are worthless as a singer and as a musician.
As a person.
And I hate that. I really hate that. One of the things that we've always detested is this idea of competing in music. And that is the worst form of competition in music, because it sets up this false and unattainable standard for too many people. Everybody should understand that they have a gift to offer. And if you want to get into music, find your gift that you can give. It's your gift that you give to other people. And I think, okay, what about Bob Dylan? Okay, Bob Dylan, he would never pass American Idol. He would have never gone on to the finals because his voice sounds like dry straw. But he's one of the greatest singers of the last 100 years and one of the greatest songwriters of the last 100 years. But in this current climate, he never would have gotten anybody to pay attention to him. And that's one of the things that kind of really drives me crazy. But I encourage people to get together and sing in groups, because it's a resonating together thing. When you breathe together and you resonate together, the power is, and Kim can tell you all about this. She knows all this history of the civil rights movement and all the power of the songs in the civil rights movement. The music of the civil rights movement
influenced everything. The environmental movement, everything.
It drove the entire movement, and then that was picked up by the other movements: the environmental movement, the women's movement, the anti-war movement.
So the American Indian movement. So many. And
so people need to understand that singing together actually does have power and can have a major impact on people.
Of course, even before
our
that,
young
the women's
children, our young
suffrage
people
movement,
are getting
people sang. See, we're losing that. We're losing that communal singing.
Communal singing.
So it is something that we strive to.
So that's our feeling about it.
We probably went on too long about it. But basically, we're out there trying to nurture that, to keep that spark going, and they keep us young because they teach us things every day. So it's a real joy, actually. As I get older, Pete always said, the most important thing is working with kids. He really believed that, and to the very end, he was doing that with children, and they do keep you young, and they keep you open to hear things that maybe you don't want to hear sometimes.
I like to listen to them and learn from them.
And they're
teach me all the time.
They're very funny.
Yeah. But anyway, yes, we got it. This is something that I think everybody that's in music and should, I guess, contribute, should donate, should put some of their energy into getting people to sing together. I think that's just such an amazing experience. And now, of course, we on the tail end of all this isolation over the last few years, it's more important. It's more important than ever. Oh, and very good news, folks. Before we sign off this last comment, We just heard, day before yesterday, that sometime very soon, we don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but Zoom has apparently figured out how to fix the latency issue. So in a very short time, I'm hoping that it's within the next month, that we're actually all going to be able to sing together on Zoom and hear each other. And that, so... Yeah.
So, technology hopefully is going to catch up to us. But in the meantime, we got a lot to sing about.
So there it is. We went on too long.
All right. Well, except I'm going to ask you, because we're done with community sharing now. Thank you, Chaplain Joseph. Terry Gray, can you do one more song for us, please? Just something wonderful. And I'm loving this because I'm hearing
sing along.
I haven't heard before, so I'm totally loving this.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, we're just pulling them out because you sparked an interest in trees, so we tried to do the tree one. I don't know what we're doing. But you know this one, Kim, and you've sung it with us. And to me, it's one of the gifts that came through us. Musicians are also vessels for this wonderful thing that sometimes they have no control over. It just kind of comes right through you. And this is one of those songs.
I remember hearing Arlo Guthrie talk about it.
Yes.
That when you're a songwriter, it's like living along a river of song, right? And you're fishing out of the river, and sometimes you catch some real good ones. Some people are better at it than others. That is, catching the fish in the river of song. And he said, one thing that you just hope is that you're not downstream of Bob Dylan.
So anyway.
So this is a song that came to us, and we sang it the other day, and somebody said, "Oh yeah, that's the words of Chief Seattle." Well, it's not really the words of Chief Seattle, but Chief Seattle did say a few things that were very similar. And of course, you find this is the philosophy of people who are stewards of the earth, who are caretakers of the earth, who understand they don't own the earth.
And the comment actually came from a school teacher.
Yeah, it was actually a school teacher.
School teachers, one of those essential workers that we overlook all the time, and who are out there defending our kids and taking care of them all the time.
But this, to me, this is the statement of our philosophy, and what I think should be the driving philosophy behind what we do in terms of taking care of our planet.
Kim, I wish I could hear you sing with us now.
It doesn't belong to us, folks. It doesn't belong to us. So that's the capitalist point of view. That we own the earth.
We don't own the earth.
It's the earth that owns us.
Exactly. So thank you all again, and hope you'll sing with us.
We belong to her. We belong to her. In sun and in wind and in rain is a seed of what will be. It awaits spirits take flight, and we lay our bodies down. Our ashes may be carried away on the wind, but return to the birthing ground. Return to the birthing ground. And we belong to the earth. We all belong to the earth. It's not that she belongs to us, it's we belong to her. It's we belong to her. It's not that she belongs to us, it's we belong to her. We belong to her.
Oh, wow. My heart feels nourished. It really does. Thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you
Thanks for
all.
having
You're
me.
such polished musicians. I know that's maybe a funny thing to say,
Well,
but
50 years, I hope it's starting to show.
yeah, I appreciate that. It's amazing. You know, I see a lot of unpolished musicians, let me tell you.
Well, I don't know. If we are polished, it's probably because we're kind of like rocks in a river, you know.
Washed over
Washed
so many times.
by rocks and other sand and salt and everything else.
All right. Well, we really appreciate you being here. And now